Pacers action front and center. In the realm of sports we enter. From downtown they shoot and score.
What's up, Pacers Nation? This is Grant and
Zay. How we doing? Pacers in 7.
Pacers in 7. I already
Pacers
called
in
it. I was
7.
going to save it to the end.
Pacers in 7. I can't hide it. I can't hide my emotions. How I feel is how I feel.
I'm going to save mine for then.
Sure.
For then. All right. So the first thing I want to start off, I want to kind of just forget about that Buck series. We won. We celebrated. We already
Forget
talked
about it. I'm still living in it, baby.
And we're on to the next one.
What?
All right. So
I can enjoy it.
first thing I want to talk about is Haliburton stats from this year's playoffs to last year's playoffs.
Sure.
Let me know if you have any takes from it. So this
Okay.
year, 17 points, 12 assists, 6 rebounds.
Fantastic.
Last year, 18 points, so 1 more point, 5 rebounds, 8.2. Anything stand out?
Nothing stands out, but I saw a comparison of his current playoff stats. You know who his stats are literally identical to? Magic Johnson.
So
But more efficient, less turnovers.
okay, so I saw that, and I want to add context to it because it kind of annoys me.
Sure.
All right, here's why.
Sure.
Magic went to the playoffs and did a finals run. So those 20 games
Yeah.
are all his rookie.
Sure.
So there is that context. It's still good air to be in because he was still I think an MVP conversation in his rookie year. It is still some high regard.
Yeah.
But I do feel like I just need to put out that context of it was his rookie season.
I don't care what season it was. If you're a point guard, you get compared to Magic Johnson, who is still considered one of the, if not the best point guard of all time.
Best point guard in my opinion.
Then what are we talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The only other person I would even put in that conversation kind of be Steph, but
Yeah.
to me, they almost play two different.
They do. I think Steph
So-
will retire that higher, but that's a difference.
Yeah. The big thing that stood out to me though was this year he's actually averaging 4 more assists.
Yeah.
4 more assists per game
Yeah.
with only dipping 1 point. That shows a lot to me. He learned from his aggression. I think maybe there was a quarter or a half through the whole series where I was be more aggressive, Tyrese.
Yeah.
But previous playoff
Yeah.
run, I feel like there was whole games where he would take 6 shots.
Aggression. It's funny. We always go back to aggression. Would you want to know something funny? Last night I was at the bar talking to some buddies. I have a buddy who's a big stats guy. It's all numbers. I'm not all numbers. I'm a lot of vibes. I'm a lot of chill. What's up? I'm just a chill guy. But he's a stats guy. Based on a statistical on NBA.com. Okay, Tyrese Haliburton is a top 5. Maybe it was top 10. But I think it was top 5 ISO player in the league. Isn't that interesting? This is from NBA.com, right? So. ISO ball. I mean, maybe that's not equal to aggression, but does that surprise you, or would you have called that if I didn't tell you that right now? ISO ball.
So there is one thing that I saw that would maybe hint to me at this. Let me find it real quick.
I was very surprised. I didn't see that coming. And a stat to compound with that is that we also our players have some of the most open shots in the statistically. They're the most open shots
on the corner threes. The top teams were.
It's not even close.
We were 55%. The next one was 41%.
Yeah, it was not even close. Which I think it's a direct result of Haliburton's play style. But if you would say Tyrese Haliburton is an ISO pitcher.
That's not how I look at him, especially through the regular season.
Right.
But I would say just from the game 5 against the Bucks, that might have inflated his stats a little bit because here's a breakdown from when he checked into that game.
Sure.
So it's 4th quarter and overtime.
Game 5.
Yeah, game 5.
Yeah.
So Haliburton assists, then Siakam 2, Haliburton assists, Turner free throw, Haliburton 2, Haliburton free throw, Haliburton free throw, Haliburton 2, Haliburton 3, Naismith 3, Naismith 2, Nembhard 3, Haliburton 2, Haliburton free throw, Haliburton 2. So I bet that probably inflated a lot, and I almost see that Haliburton might be on the verge of taking a crazier step in this round 2.
Yeah.
Because if he's really unlocked this drive into the rim and layup package with no fear when Giannis is guarding him, not only will that give him more points per game, but also that's going to bring in defenders most point guards like Russell Westbrook, James Harden. They get a lot of their assists because they drive and dish because they respect the drive so much. Haliburton, they don't respect the drive. So a lot of times when he goes to drive and tries to pass out, that's one of your uglier passes. You know. So I honestly expect a little bit of a leap from him.
I do too. But here's the thing about Giannis that a lot of people have knowledge. Giannis, and you've said this. Giannis is Giannis is a big guy with a small. Inside of him is It's very small. It's very little. You can pack him up. You can put him in a backpack. He's our little bro, okay? We own him. We own the team. So with that, Haliburton does not fear him, okay?
Yeah.
So that's just kind of a little caveat,
If you're not fearing Giannis, you're not fearing Donovan Mitchell or anybody else.
Yes.
Last Haliburton point I want to point out is he is the leading rebounder in the first series, the leading assister
on our team, right?
On our team.
Yeah,
on our team.
So saying, what?
So on our team, the leading rebounder, leading assister, and he's second in point, which is pretty crazy.
Who's first?
Siakam.
I figured, yeah.
And Hallie is actually one of 9 players to begin the playoffs 4 straight points, assists, double-doubles.
Yeah.
And I did a little experiment. I'm just going to name one of their names, either their first or last name, and see if you recognize these players, okay?
Okay.
So his company is Oscar, Magic, Stockton, Rondo, Nash, CP3, Westbrook.
Yeah.
The only other one is Darren Williams, who actually was nice.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say Williams.
Right.
You're like Darren.
Are you Oscar Roberts?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Figured.
So, which is crazy because sometimes you see these stats like Thaddeus Young's the only player besides LeBron and MJ.
Right.
But this keeps happening. This keeps happening. In the regular season, the playoffs, you keep seeing. I saw the other stat too. Players who in the first round of the playoffs had at least 10 assists and 1 or fewer turnovers in their career. Mm-hmm. Everyone was at 1, except I think Trae Young had 2 and Magic had 2. Mm-hmm. Haliburton had 2.
Yeah.
We are witnessing greatness, and that is why. Let's move on to the matchup of I don't understand the disrespect of it's just easy Cavs.
The Cleveland Cavaliers, the big bad wolf of the East. Whoa, people are looking at
They're
Cleveland.
Not though. That's the Celtics, and I'm not even scared of the Celtics this year. I respect them a lot, but I'm not scared of them.
I respect what they have done. They have, so what we've seen, we were talking about this recently, me and some friends, OKC, Cleveland, okay? Both of them have 2 traits that make them well beyond any other team, okay? They have 2 efficient big, okay? Yeah. So we all know who they are, right? So with that, okay, it seems like, that play style, it's clearly efficient. It clearly, there's other factors, but with that, can we, dance with that devil? The Pacers historically have had an issue with big man. You know what I mean? The big man problems, we like to call it,
we just survived not Giannis, though.
We did.
And not only did we survive, it's not like we survived by shutting him down.
Yeah. No.
We let him have the most historic stuff.
Yes.
And still won. And in the beginning of the series, before it even started, I knew we weren't going to shut down Giannis.
Yeah.
But Jared down, we could actually do that.
How?
I'm not saying.
Curious.
No, I'm not saying we are going to shut down Jared down, but it's in the realm. It's not too unrealistic. If I told you, hey, game 2, he had 50. Wouldn't blow your mind.
Who are you putting on Bryant? That might be the matchup.
No, you're not putting Bryant in the starters. It's Siakam return. I'm just saying he is good, but he is not an unstoppable force like Young. He can have a bad game.
I see. Okay, no, yeah, it's completely different. I see you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We actually could, Carlisle could put up a game plan where we slow him down. Maybe we focus and let this other guy gets more open shots, but we can't slow him down. Giannis just had no chance.
I think our team of coaches and assistant coach, our coaches, how I love the game plan of I again call it the wall deep. Just basically throw bodies in front of Giannis, cannot drive, and it works. I mean, it bit us a little bit, but what are you going to do against? You know what I mean? So but that's good. I think you formulated a great plan. I am very curious to see what kind of game plan we have against the 2-body problem, shall I?
Yeah. Well, I think our biggest advantage is same thing of how we took Lopez out of the game. If we're running fast and using all our depth well,
speed,
that is where we can take advantage of.
Speed.
So they might be able to, post up and do all this crazy stuff on offense, but we can get right back and get easy buckets on them.
Yeah.
So that's where I see it almost kind of evening out.
I don't think it's us, it's the disrespect. I mean, we can go on and on, but I read a stat the other day that said we have on game 3, our projected win at home is 19. I mean, has anybody ever watched us play at home?
I got a good one too. I saw the Lakers when they were down 3-1 before they played their game.
Yeah.
The Lakers had better odds to win their series than we had to win.
Yeah. No, we probably saw the same thing.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. On paper, we are basically the same team. We started out 10-15, but there's another reality. It's not too hard to imagine where we didn't. We're also pushing 60 60 wins.
Right.
And let me just read you some stats comparing these two.
Sure.
Okay. Since January 1st, Cavs 35-14, Pacers 34-40. About the same.
Beautiful.
Points per game, 121 to 119, 2-point difference, about the same.
Yeah.
The big one will be rebounding, which is expected from this team.
Right.
48 to 42. But then Cavs assists 27, we have 30. So everything, and look at the shooting splits too. So we have 48-48, 36.8, 36.7, 77.6, 79.4. Like everything is like within like one or two.
Mm-hmm.
I would say we are on par. The Cavs just get so much more respect because, hey, 60 wins is a big deal. And I think they have like one of like the best offenses. But if we're talking about 2025, I think we're every bit just as good as the Cavs.
Well, here's the deal about the Cavs, okay? People underestimate what we have done to the Cavs throughout the season, okay? They won a 15-win game win streak. We were the first. We were a team that broke them in Cleveland. Okay, that is big.
Yeah.
Okay. There's that. What else? We played them 4 times this season. We beat them.
Yeah. I will say it's more closer to 1-1 because the last.
I understand the caveats.
Yeah, the last.
I understand the
caveats.
But
still, 1-1 again, about even.
Yeah.
Like I really think this series is about a coin flip because I think everything evens out. Even in areas like like they'll probably out rebound us, whatever, but we'll probably move the ball more and we'll probably get more like fast break opportunities in them too. So like I really think it's a coin flip. I would not confidently say
I think we're deeper. I think we're deeper than them.
Well,
I think they have a stronger probably starting 5, but we have a more consistent bench.
So
which I think goes a long way in the playoffs.
I will say this too. I looked up the top scoring people for the Pacers and the Cavs. Another stat basically the same. They have 7 players scoring at least 10 points. We have 7 players scoring at least 10 points.
Yeah.
The big difference there, though, that I've noticed is they had 2 guys over 20 points per game, which I honestly, in this specific series, see it as a disadvantage because I think it's very hard to guard us when our number 1 scorer, Siakam and Haliburton, it's not like they're hunting for points.
No.
Like they are scoring points because they're getting good opportunities. They're never trying to reach that 30 ball or anything like that. And I think that makes it extremely hard to guard us. Whereas they're guys who are scoring like 24 and 23 points per game.
Yeah.
We can focus on them a lot more and kind of let the other players take the shot. Whereas I feel almost just as good as Naismith taking an open shot as, Haliburton driving to the rim,
Yes. Yeah. I'm curious to see what their game plan is going to be against us because I mean, it's what makes them so much better. I'm asking that not to really you. I'm almost asking rhetorically, like the people. Okay, it's so slanted. Why? Okay, you can look at the wins. Okay, explain them to me. Why? I've watched Cavs games; they're good. But when it comes to our matchup, what makes them going to just undeniably crush us? What do you think?
I really,
in their perspective, like, what do you think? What is it?
I really
big
think
men, or?
It is a more of a consistency thing and here in the echo chamber because as soon as we started 10 and 15, we were off the national media radar. No matter what we like, even when we beat the Cavs in that nobody talks about it type of thing, But they're getting gassed up the whole year because they were consistently good throughout the whole year. Yeah. So they're hearing all year.
We play catch up.
You're the awesome team. You're the best team. Blah 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 blah. But then like once we got past the All-Star break, it about evened out. And like against like the top 4 teams, I think they went. These are like fake numbers.
Sure.
But like say they went like 6-3, we went 7-2.
Right.
They won 70% of the games, or like 73% of the games past January. We won like 71%. Right. Games, So I think it's very objective that it's about the same, but even with the odds being in our favor, I still believe it's like about a coin flip. Like it could really be just a last second shot or a bad call or stumble or.
If we can take one of them in Cleveland, I think we got it. The last team to beat us at home in the playoffs was Celtics.
Wow.
Think about it.
That's pretty crazy.
Think about it. Crazy. And when we went to 7 with the Knicks, it's because we lost away. And we won the game 7.
I'll say too, that is one more of the one thing I would give us way over the Cavs is our recent playoff experience. I know Donovan's done it for a while, not necessarily with this team. I think they got kicked out pretty early last year.
Yeah.
All of our players feel very confident. We basically brought everybody back. Everybody's been playing with the
We're running it back. With Mathurin. That's it.
And I think another advantage that we got is we had so many close games, not just in the regular season, but even even like that Bucks game, like in the playoffs, of we had to like keep fighting. I don't think the Cavs, I mean, they probably have 1 or 2 games got like punched in the mouth, but I bet they probably didn't come back. You know what I'm saying? Because like when you're used to winning, you might actually like get defeated.
Sure.
When you're the Pacers, you're always on the ropes. So
we had a historic game 6.
Yeah.
Game 5. Historic.
Yeah.
We should not have won that game. We should have not won that game.
The wall doesn't scare you, and that's
that game had to have woke up all these other players going, oh shit. Yeah. You're not supposed to win in 40 seconds with downs or whatever it is. 40 seconds down 7. You're just not supposed to. Yeah. You foul. It's a foul. It's a game of fouls and blah blah blah. It's whatever. We won.
And I'll say the experience again. Nembhard taking that 3. Yeah. He feels good about that. Yeah. Whereas if you've never been in that situation before, it's like a hope and a prayer when you throw that. You know, I think he felt very confident that was going to go in. Dude. Same thing with Haliburton saying, I would rather lose this game by me actually driving than just throwing up a 3 type of thing. Because a lot of
confidence it takes to do that.
Yes, a lot of teams, it's way easier to find yourself open at 3 and just kind of chuck something up. And
some bullshit.
But actually like driving in, he knows from those like Celtics and Knicks series that like you got
it's now or never.
You got to
have to do it. Yes. Yeah. And he was shooting poorly, so he made it great. We won that game 6. I think, I just talking about being undefeated at home. I thought that was about the first loss that we've had since we kind of got back in playoff run. Dude, we still came back and won. Yeah. To me, that's just something about what we bring to it. What our home court advantage are. That home court advantage, it's unparalleled.
Yeah. No, I really.
So if we could take 1 in Cleveland, I have no reason. The Cavs, this Cavs team is not as scary as last year's Celtics, in my opinion. So we take 1 there, we got 2 at home. Waiting on us. That's the way I look at it.
Honestly, against this specific matchup, I like starting away because I like to change, having tried to steal that. Because I feel very confident. Like Celtics, for instance, if we're playing them, I would rather start home because I'd rather start 2-0 up on them or whatever. I'm okay with taking the risk of being down 0-2 with the Cavs to have a puncher's chance and taking one. Because we're not going to steal it by beating them by 30 points. That's not going to happen. I bet there won't be even like 1 game that's decided by more like 10 points.
This is not going to be a non-interesting game. I mean, you tell me what besides in the conference finals East, name a better matchup than Pacers Cavs.
Nobody.
I've been watching some of these games and a lot of them have been great. I mean, shit. I'd argue we had the best playoff.
I thought that too, but then I hate to say it.
Not the Knicks.
It's a Knicks.
The Knicks Pistons was a better
because how often it came down to the wire.
That's true.
How often? Because like every time I checked in on those games, whether it's like watching or just like checking on my phone, it was always like one team's up.
I think they had an overtime game as well.
Yeah.
They're the only other team I believe. So us. But I mean that game, our game 6, I'd put over any game that's happened probably in the playoffs so far. That's obviously a little biased, but it was exhilarating. Obviously this is biased, but I mean, who's to say? I mean, we take 1. I am confident that if we take 1 in Cleveland, we got it.
Yeah, same.
We got it.
It still might go to 7, but I feel confident like we'll take them.
And also the confidence of last season we're in Madison Square Garden. We're playing the big bad Knicks in Madison Square Garden. Game 7 we won. We're not supposed to win that either.
Yeah.
Against all odds. And people want to say injuries this, injuries that. We were still the underdog.
Everybody picked against us. I did not find one national person who was like, I think the Pacers gonna win.
I wasn't even fully confident going. I was like, shit, we were puncher's chance for the big bad, the historic match we're going. You know what I mean? Like against these mean gritty Knicks.
And the thing too, I'll say that I think gives us an advantage in like the experience type of thing. If Donovan goes down for them, they're good.
Oh yeah.
But we've seen.
We're not wishing that. Yeah, we didn't wish anything in Dame.
But if Haliburton goes down, I still feel confident in Nembhard being team because don't forget last year. I know the Celtics were like the number 1 offense or whatever. They were also the number 2 defense. Yeah. And Andrew Nembhard had a 24-10 game or 24-9 game and a 32-10 game without Haliburton there. Yeah. So like I'm not saying we could win the series without Haliburton, but I think we could even still win a game without him. Yeah. So I think that's a big thing too. And how often we've had to change these lineups. Yes. So I feel like everybody feels comfortable. Yeah. Turner's out, we feel comfortable with the game plan. Anybody's out, we feel comfortable. I'm not sure the Cavs are there.
I think we've gotten way more comfortable closing the games out. Not to say we're all of a sudden like these closeout demons. I think we're way more comfortable closing the games out. I think we've gotten way better at it. So I mean that was kind of our biggest thing. So I mean, look, the pace. I mean, every now and again we'll give you a game we're down 30 and that is what it is. Otherwise, we're in it. Yeah. So if we can get a little bit of a lead at the end of the game, we can hold it, man. As long as our coaches are on point, the refs aren't screwing us. Pacers in 7.